Hey everyone, and welcome to day 21 of my horror movie review marathon, and I will be talking to you guys about 1974's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is a movie that I was actually seeing for the first time. I haven't even seen the remakes, not that, I would appreciate them as much as I would appreciate the original one, because when I saw this movie, I was absolutely terrified, and I actually was reading around when people were seeing it from back in the day, and just how terrifying it was. I mean, who wouldn't be terrified of a guy who chases after you with a chainsaw? All I gotta say about that is, do not mess with Texas. Not necessarily be true, but for this one group of kids who, they're stopping for gas, and all of a sudden, two of them run off, go to this house to, ask for help, and the one guy, he just sort of runs in there, leaving the girl, outside, sort of waiting for him. And that's when stuff just goes down. I would say I was really terrified by Leatherface and his chainsaw and just his methods of, mass murdering people. And I was really surprised. He was a big, tall guy in this movie, like most of the serial killers that are, in these remakes, the Halloween remake or Friday the 13th remake, and I was really surprised at how much of a powerhouse he was, and the way he just used the chainsaw and just whipping it around, and it's so scary. Noises, every little noise that I heard in this movie was just absolutely terrifying. You've got crazy clicking sounds and chicken noises and flesh ripping from places, and it was just, the sound effects were absolutely gross, and it really just scared me when I was watching this. I half the time, I could recall a few times when I just could not watch the movie. I had to turn away, and I forced myself not to watch it because it was just so scary, and even just by listening to it, it was just scary. This whole concept, it, seemed almost realistic, and, I wouldn't want to mess with anybody. I don't know what I would do in their situation. I would just, start running places. I wouldn't try to go into a dark corner or hide anywhere. I would just start running, this one girl in the movie, she was literally running in the middle of the night in the woods while Leatherface was chasing after her with a chainsaw, and it's I almost wanted to be her and just hide. But I'm how can you hide from a guy with a chainsaw that's basically ripping branches and ripping through doors, and it's not even funny. It's just absolutely terrifying seeing his madness come out, brutally murder these people. Some of the shots in the beginning of the movie, so they'll show, it was interesting how in the beginning, the opening credits was basically this whole narrated message, and that was the first time I've ever seen something like that in a horror movie recently. Went to this whole montage of grotesque images of things and skeletons and things that aren't completely decayed and stuff, and it was just, it really sent a chill down my spine just watching it. It was funny because I was eating at the time while I was watching it, so I was oh, that's it, I'm done, I'm not eating this anymore. Adding to the scariness. I wouldn't say that the acting was actually, terrible. For the 70s, I know, it always seems you have, the stereotypical actresses, always screaming the same way, always running the same way. It wasn't, that terrible, and, for the first time of me watching this, I was really surprised at the quality of this movie. Didn't really have that many, special effects or anything, but the practical effects I thought were pretty interesting. The use of weapons in this movie was kind of bizarre. Really, you use a hammer and then boom, they're down for the count, seriously. That one girl, I was really surprised. But it was just, really terrifying to watch, and just being chased by Leatherface. I mean, Leatherface is like probably like a really iconic character. I'd say like, you know, this movie really represented the whole like, you know, brutality of, you know, the events that were happening. It was just creepy. So I don't really know if I would see this movie again, but I do like the effort that was made into making this movie and making it a decent horror movie with a really scary serial killer. Overall, I would say that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was, you know, it's probably up there in, you know, some of my scariest movies that I've ever seen. I would recommend seeing this if you haven't seen this, or whichever version you saw, which one did you like better? Obviously, I would say the original should always be the best one, but who knows? So let me know in the comments what you guys thought of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and come back tomorrow for my next horror movie review. And as always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews and movie updates. Come back every week for a Child Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, and I will see you guys later.